there's something very important about blood you want to know after you really understand the genotypes and the phenotypes. And I wanted to show you this. The how to get this chart I went through in a previous video, but I didn't add one thing, and that is the antibodies. We want to know which one is a universal donor and which one's a universal acceptor. You really have to understand how the antibodies work. So the antibodies work with what is called an antigen. And 00 blood is 00 because it has no antigens. You can think of this is a blood cell, as almost like a ghost in the body. The body doesn't really see it on a simple general way of explaining it. Okay, you can think of it that way. This one, on the other hand, has these A antigens. Okay, it's telling the body, I am A. And if you are a type A body, then you can recognize type A and you're okay. This one's AO, so it has these A's, and then O has nothing, right? So it's got A's, and it's telling the body still, I am A. And if you're a type A body, you're okay with that. But type A people make an antibody for B. It's looking constantly for any blood cells with a B antigen. This is an A antigen. It's looking for the B. And if it finds B, it's going to attack B very much like it's a disease, okay? A bacteria or something. It looks at it as though it is a foreigner. And that's exactly what an antigen does. An antigen is a protein on the surface of a cell, or in this case, the blood cell, and it's telling the body what it is. It's just a way of identifying itself. The antibodies look for antigens that are foreigners. That's why they call it antibody, right? Anti. B has B antigens, right? So these are antigen, and this is antibody. Antigen, antibody. B doesn't really care for A, so they have an A antibody. So B blood in B, it's saying I'm B and it's okay, but if it sees the A, it's going to attack A like it's a foreigner. If B sees 0, it doesn't do anything because the OO doesn't really have any antigens. Like I said, it's just kind of around. Now AB makes no antibodies. So AB is okay, and it's not A, you don't have to be A and B. If an A body sees that you have a B antigen, you're okay. If an A person sees that you have an A antigen, it's okay. So if you're either A or B, you're okay. So it doesn't have to be A and B. So you have A and B all over this. That's good, but it doesn't have. It's A or B. You're fine because there's no antibodies. OO is a little different. OO tends not to get along with the either, and it makes both antibodies, A and B. So it's looking for A or B, and it will attack. So if you see A, if it sees A, it's going to attack. If it sees B, it's going to attack. If it sees A and B, it's definitely going to attack, because the A and B are constantly in the bloodstream looking for that foreign invader, and it thinks that anything A or B is a foreigner. So we call the OO universal donor, because this type of blood can go into a person who's type A, type B, or type AB. Type AB, on the other hand, is a universal receiver. Receiver because type AB has no antibodies, and so you can put a type A blood in here, because if it's type A, or it's type B, or it's type AB, or type O, the blood can go into a type AB body. No antibodies means it doesn't really attack anything. Now, here's a question. Can you put AB into A? Right? It has a B antibody. Type AB has B antigens. And so if you put type AB into A, it's going to see the B antigen and it's going to attack it. So you cannot put AB into A. Can you put AB into B? For the same reason, only this time type B body is looking for any A antigens, but type AB has an A antigen, so it's going to attack as well. And you definitely can't put it into a type O, because type O is looking for A, B, or AB. If it sees any of those, it's going to attack. So this is why we call it universal donor, universal receiver. This is what's behind that. And I hope that it makes it a little bit more clear. If you draw out these blood cells and you work on the genotypes and then the phenotypes, and then you remember how to figure out the antibodies, you will not have to memorize which one's universal donor and receiver. And if you do it enough, it will just be it'll be there for you. You can always figure it out if you need to. So I hope that makes things clear.